Hey guys, today we are going to start our unit on 3D figures, and this is going to be a lot of knowing formulas and just plugging things into formulas. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but we're going to have to memorize lots of formulas here. The first thing that we're going to talk about is how to find the volume of a cylinder. Volume is the measure of space occupied by a solid, so that's going to be the entire solid, insides and everything. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to know that the volume of a cylinder is equal to pi, so that's this little symbol right here is pi, times the radius squared times the height. So you're going to need to find two things every time you're trying to find the volume. You need the radius and the height. So let's do one example. The first example says find the volume of the cylinder, round to the nearest tenth. So again, we know our formula is volume equals pi times the radius squared times the height. Well, the radius, if you guys don't remember what this is, I actually showed you here. The radius is going to be halfway across the bottom of the circle. So in this case, from the center of the circle to the edge, or halfway across the circle, is going to be the number 8. It's 8 kilometers. So what we are going to do is we are going to substitute 8 for the radius. So we know that 8 is equal to the radius, and we know that 7 is going to be the height. That's just the height of the cylinder. So now we're just going to substitute. So volume has to equal pi, which there's a button on your calculator, pi, that I'll show you where that is. If not, you can use 3.14. But pi is going to be good for you to use, times the radius, which in this case is 8 squared, times the height, which is 7. And remember, every time you substitute, you have to use parentheses. So now all I'm doing is I'm going to substitute this into, or plug this into my calculator. And when I plug pi times 8 squared times 7, I end up getting 1,407.43, which if we're rounding to the nearest tenth, rounds to 1,407.4. And that's going to be my final answer. All right, next example. They might not just give you the radius. They might also not give you a picture. Because here what they're doing, it says find the volume of a cylinder with a diameter of 16. So diameter is going to be 2 of the radiuses. So if we're back up into this picture, the diameter is going to end up being the entire distance across. So that's why it's going to be 2 of the radiuses. So in this case, if we know that our diameter is 16, which we know that again is 2 of the radiuses, we have to take our diameter and we have to cut it in half. Cut in half. Okay, so anytime you see the diameter, you gotta cut it in half to find the radius. So we know our radius is gonna end up equaling 16 divided by 2, which is 8. Okay, and then it tells us a height of 20, so we know h is 20. Again, I'm going to take my formula. We know volume is equal to pi r squared h. So this is going to end up equaling pi times my radius, which is 8 squared, times h, which is 20. Go ahead, plug that right into your calculator, and after rounding, you should get 4,021.2. And that's going to be your final answer.